to our circle and Salve Women. Today is movie talk day, and you know, some of you are probably thinking to yourself, why does she do this? Why does she talk about movies? And if I may, I honestly, personally speaking, can tell you that movies have helped to build my character. You know, sometimes your surroundings is not who you feel you are truly inside. And so for those of you who read books, who watch, you know, movies and series and just really totally immerse yourself in other worlds, then you can relate with what I say in that means of really escaping into it. You know, it's like when you watch a movie, you can feel yourself there. You can feel the hearts and the souls and the spirits of the characters, and you just have that, you know, sense of I get it moments in the movies, in the same way that when you're reading a book and you just find yourself like have gone into the page and you're reading everything line for line as if you've written the lines yourselves and you understand truly what is happening, and that you could probably even add extra lines between the lines. And that's how you feel about movies. At least that's how I feel about movies. So the one I'm going to share with you today, just like the other movies that I will share with you, has really gotten a spot in my heart. And the reason, one of the biggest reason that this one is so special to me, because this was the very first movie that my husband took me to in a movie theater. You know, it just showed me that he really did take the time to get to know who I truly am and the likes of me, because I recall not even knowing what movie he was going to take me to. I'm not the kind, you know, in the past I was too busy. I worked 2 jobs after school. And so I was always not following like what's in right now, what's the new release and so forth in the past, before the Google days and before Wi-Fi and all of that, you know? So for me, just to sit in a movie theater, and I remember sitting there, and when the movie started, it was like, it just took my breath away, because it hit me that I already knew I was going to fall in love with this movie. And so the movie is called The Man in the Iron Mask, and I want to make sure that I read to you the synopsis, because as I should have the first time I shared with you a movie, I just want to make sure that I give it its respect. So rather than putting words right in the beginning of this movie, I'd rather read to you first what the movie is about. And then that way you can decide for yourself if you want to keep listening in. If you've already seen the movie, then perhaps you should watch it again, because maybe there's something that you missed that I will have mentioned. And if you haven't, I really hope that what I've shared with you today will be something that will, you know, give you some urgency or some desire to really watch this movie, because it is always in the light that I want to bring you, you know, and keep you there. And these certain movies have really helped me to find the character from within me, and just because of the goodness that it brings out of you. And so here is the synopsis of this movie. And so it reads: for the honor of the crown and the destiny of a country, the world's most renowned musketeers reunite for one last epic battle. A sensational cast led by Leonardo DiCaprio, Oscar winner Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich, Gerard Depardieu, and Gabrielle Byrne shines in this lavish, action-packed, and wonderful movie with great performances. It is a time of both splendor and despair. France's self-serving King Louis XIV, starring DiCaprio, enjoys the riches of the world while his people die of starvation. Believing that he is all-powerful, Louis fears no one except the one person who could bring his reign to an end. And that is where the twist is when you watch this movie. The man he imprisoned for eternity behind a mask of iron. And when Louis' selfish excesses go too far, retired musketeers Athos, Malkovich, Porthos, Depardieu, and Aramis Irons, my favorite musketeer of all times just because of his true devotion to God, vow to free the mysterious prisoner who may be France's only hope for survival. Only one question remains: will their old comrade, the legendary D'Artagnan, Byrne, help them or destroy them? And so here goes the movie, where I really want to also mention the mother. the mother has obviously the secret, right? The secret that no one knows until almost the very end. And again, when you watch movies, I'm sure many of you can relate. You know, you're just like, gosh, if I had just written this, I would have done it this way, you know? Because there are some agonizing parts where you're like, why didn't you just say something, you know? And of course, that is what causes the story plot to be so good. And then it puts that anger in you because you're just realizing that because of that miscommunication, because that lack of communication, things turned, you know, for the worse, and all of a sudden there was this big, you know, complexity of life in everyone, and everything that people were going through, and just so much that because the mother did not say, that all of a sudden things took a turn, you know, for many to have to try and fix. And so in this story, it goes with King Louis. He is just this selfish king, you know, not the king that you would honor and praise if he walked down the streets, you know. And he has really just caused fear in people because of his title. And, you know, he plays such a good, just a heartless king. He is filled with so much lavish goods around him. He could have, you know, so much splendor, all the women that, you know, he possibly could have, and yet he wants what he, you know, what he cannot. And there's a part in this movie where, you know, he even there's this soldier who is ready to marry the love of his life, and of course, you know, there goes the king wanting that one instead of any other able women out there that are young ladies that could possibly or would want to just be his lady. And yet he wants what he cannot have. And, you know, I guess many novels or stories we've, you know, read will probably have that type of plot as well, always wanting what you cannot have. And so it really goes to pinpoint or put into the character of this king, just truly selfish and heartless. His people in France are starving, and it's like, it's people, you know, his D'Artagnan, his right-hand man, just amazing, such a humble, you know, full of humility type of man, but will stand by the king no matter what, the kind that you want as a right-hand man, but because you know no matter how wrong you are as a person, because he has given his loyalty to you, that he will serve you for all of his life. And this is the kind of man that D'Artagnan is. But you will find that D'Artagnan has this strength in him beyond compare to the very end. And, you know, there's just this gentility about him and his relationship with the king's mother, and this love story that just keeps building and building and building to the very end. And just aside from all the decorative piece of this movie and how everyone's dressed and how everyone, you know, just carries themselves, and just centralizing this king who just takes no regards for anybody else other than himself. And here comes the Three Musketeers. Oh, did I fall in love with the Three Musketeers even more in this movie. And, you know, just because they played their role so well. Athos being such a good father and just, you know, ready to just let it all go. You know, he's fought as a Three Musketeer all his life, and he's like, you know, I'm ready to just be a father now and just be in love with what life has left for me, and just embrace that peace that I need to end with. And then here comes Porthos, right? Just kind of like the man who loves life and just everything about it, and women, and, you know, just the fun things of life. He is all about that. And then you have Aramis, who just, to me, it's just, you know, he is all his devotion to God. And this Jesuit, hopefully I got that right, priest, is just amazing in this movie. And I could just sit there and just watch the three of them. It's just such a great combination of character, and each and every one of them doing so well in being this pure light of who they truly are, and not being ashamed of it, and still being these amazing soldiers, that have served their king in the past, and but yet they know that the king that they have right now is not a good one. And then they find out about the secret that this king has done, which is putting this imprisoning this person, and have also masked his face with this iron, again, hence the title of The Man in the Iron Mask. And he's dealing with the key to this, this man in the iron mask. And you have to kind of wonder, it's like, oh gosh, what is it that about this person that he wants to keep so dearly as a secret that no one should ever know? Well, come to find out, the Musketeers discover this, and they know that whoever this person is that they've imprisoned perhaps is the answer to getting rid of the king that they have currently, who they so feel they need to get rid of, only because they know that their people are suffering. And that's what makes these Musketeers so incredible, is that they are great soldiers, and yet they are for the people, and they're all about doing what's right. And yet here comes D'Artagnan, their good friend, and he is saying, no, you cannot touch the king. He is my king, and I have sworn my loyalty to him. And the other Musketeers are like, well, so have we, but he has not done the justice for the people, and our people are suffering, and we must do something about this. And so there goes the rift between D'Artagnan and the other three Musketeers. And at the end of it all, you will find why D'Artagnan fights to the very end for his king, and not even realizing even more as to what why there is even more to it that you will understand of D'Artagnan that perhaps he didn't even understand of himself. And all you really have to know is this strong, loyal, humble, just great of a man, and who stands by his king, and has this distance of a love and respect for the king's mother. Just so much beauty and love right there. And this king just continues to live this really selfish life. And when the Musketeers handle it at the very end, I hope that in you will have found yourself to really understand beauty and goodness, and what a true king should truly be. Because in the end, the definition of the king is defined, I believe, in this movie. And the Man in the Iron Mask, it's just amazing how the three Musketeers took such a good part in creating that message of what it truly takes to be a leader. The things that they say, the lines that they spoke in this movie, along with D'Artagnan and his loyalty, it's just all of them put together. It made me realize, that is the true character of a good person. And each and every one of them, each of them having that purpose. And again, the lines that they spoke really made you think and ponder upon what would you have done. And it seemed to me that everything they did would have been the right thing to do. And anyway, hopefully you enjoy this movie. If you haven't, go watch it. It's just, I know it's an old movie, but there's such a great message in being in light and never giving up hope, and just going in that direction of always knowing that there is good, that there can be good, and to always pursue it, and no matter what is going around, that there's hope for it, and that you can strive for it, and that there are people around you who believe in the same things that you believe. As long as you're in the light, then the people around you will be in the light as well. And you just keep going in that direction and great things will come. So hopefully you get that out of the movie as well. And if you have anything addition, that's wonderful. Stay in the light. In the words of my mother, God bless us all, and just keep loving you, keep enjoying life, and keep being the best of you, because at the end of the day, it is you and your character that you grow. And, you know, just embrace it. Give yourself permission sometimes to may not feel like you have it right, but be like the Three Musketeers and D'Artagnan, all for one and one for all for the right, and the, you know, the for the good, and just in everything in the light. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.